So we really got some pleasantly surprising news for the first time in a while regarding Kirsten Gillibrand. So she's someone who I always characterized as a frenemy to progressives. I mean, at first it started out with her just being brazenly against us. She was actually a relatively conservative Democrat, and then she started to inch closer towards progressivism. First of all, she came out in favor of Medicare for all, and then I said, okay, great, but let's see if you're going to co-sponsor Bernie Sanders' bill. She did. And today, we got an announcement from Kirsten Gillibrand, because according to Ruby Kramer of BuzzFeed News, she actually stopped accepting corporate PAC money as of January 1st and now joins just 3 other senators that also don't take corporate PAC money: Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Maria Cantwell. Now, she posted an announcement of her decision on Twitter, and in the following video, she's going to explain her reasoning.
Because of the corrosive effect of corporate money in politics, I've decided from this point on, I am no longer accepting corporate PAC checks into my campaign. So one of the reasons why I'm so concerned about money in politics is because of the Supreme Court decision, Citizens United. We have a system where corporations can spend unlimited money that isn't even disclosed, so there's no transparency. Since I was first elected in 2006, I've made it my mission to create more transparency and accountability in Congress. And so I was the first member of Congress to actually post my schedule, my earmark requests, and my financial disclosure online. And I've since added to that my taxes. So I hope you will stand with me. We really need to make every effort we can to get rid of the corporate money and dark money that is flowing into politics. And my effort to ban corporate PAC checks is just a first step in that direction.
So, credit where credit is due. That's a very bold move. And I know that she should have done this a long time ago, but for a Senate Democrat to announce this, she's basically shutting herself out from the establishment in certain ways, right? So the way that you get elevated to a leadership position in the Democratic Party in the first place is to raise a lot of money. And I'm assuming that Kirsten Gillibrand is politically ambitious. She may run for president. But I mean, Nancy Pelosi, she was elevated to speaker because of her ability to raise money. I mean, she even boasts at the fact that she raises a record amount of money. So if you are not taking money from corporate PACs, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to bring in money for the rest of the party, and they're not going to really be interested in you or look to you for a leadership position. So they're not going to really want to tap Kirsten Gillibrand for DNC chair or any position in the DNC. They're not going to want to tap her as a party leader, Senate majority leader one day maybe, or minority leader to Chuck Schumer's position if she's not taking corporate PAC money. This is a very, very bold move for Kirsten Gillibrand. Now, I get it. A lot of you are still skeptical because she already accepted the money from, Wall Street and whatnot, Goldman Sachs even, and she's not saying she's going to give that money back. And in fact, just to show you that I'm skeptical as well, this is what I said about her a couple of weeks ago when I did talk about her saying why she believed Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are the Democratic Party's leaders. The problem with Kirsten Gillibrand is that if we're being real here, she does a great job at talking the talk, but again, as I alluded to earlier, she is not walking the walk. And when you dig a bit deeper, you'll quickly realize that she's not as progressive as she wants us to think she is. So for example, there's a substantial amount of dark money that is financing her campaign. She's taken a combined $7.6 million in Super PAC contributions overall, and a plethora of unsavory organizations have contributed to her Super PACs, including Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Blackstone. So as you can see clearly, I was pretty skeptical, and admittedly, I'm still skeptical just because I am a skeptical person, because when it comes to politicians, we've been screwed over countless times that if we were to just accept everything that they said, even from Bernie Sanders, we would be naive. But what she's doing here is great. Yes, already taking the money that she did from Wall Street, you can never erase that, but what she's doing going forward is powerful. She is setting an example for hopefully her colleagues. Hopefully we'll see Cory Booker and Kamala Harris follow suit.
Hopefully we'll see Cory Booker and Kamala Harris follow suit.
we need to make it clear that we're willing to take yes for an answer. And I do believe in positive reinforcement. So if these politicians are making moves clearly to try to win over progressives, then I think we need to actually acknowledge what they're doing, and we need to congratulate them on making the right choice. This is the best decision you could have possibly made for your career, Kirsten, because now you're proving that you're walking the walk now. You're no longer taking money from these large corporations. I don't know how long that effect will diminish. Like maybe they already contributed to you in 2017, so they're expecting to have you bought off through your next term if you're reelected. I don't know. All I can do is speculate, but here's what I can say. Kudos to you, Kirsten Gillibrand, for doing this. This is absolutely the right decision. It's a bold move, and I think that when politicians do the right thing, we should let them know that they're doing the right thing, so that way they continue to do the right things. Again, positive reinforcement I think is very important. And again, I think that a healthy dose of skepticism is important, because formerly Kirsten Gillibrand was not like this. She wasn't even, I wouldn't consider her progressive at all. And again, she's suspect, right? Because she recently stated that Hillary Clinton was kind of her role model. Well, if you think that corporate PAC money is a problem, then the corporate PAC queen probably shouldn't be your role model, but I understand what she's trying to do in saying something like that. She doesn't want it to seem as though she's abandoning the Hillary Clinton wing of the party in case she runs for president in 2020, and she still wants to let progressives know that she's serious. She wants to win us over. So that's great. That's fantastic. Kudos to you, Kirsten Gillibrand. Again, I'm pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't have expected someone like her, who was just really entrenched in special interests in the so-called swamp in Washington, D.C., to ever do something like this that's this bold. But the fact that she's doing it, I think she has to be commended for it, so other politicians will be influenced to follow suit. Because if politicians stop taking corporate money, this is how we actually get policies we want. If they stop taking corporate PAC money from the health insurance industry, then they'll be more inclined to support Medicare for all. Now, look, does this mean that she's not taking money from special interests in general? Technically, no. I mean, if the president of Goldman Sachs wants to max out his contribution to her at $2,700, he can still technically do that. I mean, the same is true for Bernie Sanders, but she's being transparent here, and she's saying, look, you're going to be able to see all my donors now. No more dark money. And if somebody donates to me, you're going to be able to look at the FEC report and see his or her name and decide for yourself. So I have nothing negative to say here. I'm absolutely happy about this, and I applaud Kirsten Gillibrand. Fantastic, bold decision.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.